everyone, Day here, and welcome back to my The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles Let's Play. When we last left off, we were interrogating these two lovely individuals. Right now, we're about to present evidence to Kurikuta on the sentence. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Because we now know that Dr. Wilson was unable to eat thanks to the medical report card he had in his pocket, which I would like to say was lovingly provided to us by the prosecution. So thank you, Ouchie, because without you, we would not have had this information. With that said, I'm going to just head on over to that good old medical report card. Boy, oh boy, does it look amazing. And we're going to present it at this particular statement. Well, I think, About what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? Never once did I ever utter the words, I am a lawyer, at any point during this whole entire proceeding. Didn't. I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryonosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Or it be like 85,000 times a day. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. See? I always stumble over my words. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. And thanks for the advice. Oh wow. He took a deep breath and his whole demeanor just... Whew. Kurikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see, and I don't see.
Well, you have one lens versus one no lens, so it makes sense. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Oh, he still does baby slaps? Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel.
But
let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
Sounds like the true rookie is you, sir. Just because it didn't happen at the exact time of the incident doesn't necessarily mean that anything that came before will turn out to be irrelevant. But that's, remember, Ryonosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Deep breaths, even breaths.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who will...
Well, did he just slam his hands down and actually make impact? Ryonosuke is growing. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
What? That outburst have petrified me, boy!
I know. Confidence.
Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant?
Perhaps because Hada Clinic, which issued the report card, by the way, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted?
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I tell you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating, just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat? So what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
What? No, that can't.
Korikutsu-san.
What boy? What?
As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., by the way, the victim couldn't have possibly been eating anything at all.
No!
Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthesia. Expertly done, partner. The fact that you can still see his headband blowing from that, amazing.
What? What is this nonsense? You little upstart! These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How? How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Ha! Clever. Wouldn't you agree, Ryonosuke? Yes! Most definitely. So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, Consul.
What he's been saying from jump.
Consul? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... Obviously, it could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person.
Yes!
There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial. Relentlessly. Kazuma.
Are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Consul. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand.
What?
What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing.
Complicit? In murder?
No! That was the only way I could think to do that. Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. Yep. The prosecution told you not to say anything, didn't you? I was just following orders.
That's right. As the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us.
He just outed the fact that there was a woman. There was a woman. He confirmed it.
Oh.
What? What did you just say, Kurikuta-san?
Oh, no.
You were just following orders? That's not the part I was thinking of, but that's also a very valid, criticism to bring up.
Now, hold on, lad. I was,
Say you never saw the gentlewoman? Grr. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection! What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
Why is he acting like he knows nothing? Just one simple slip of the tongue. No, that was not a slip of the tongue. That was literally decisive in my opinion. He said he saw a gentlewoman at the table. Order. Consul, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth.
Absolutely not! The prosecution knows nothing of this.
Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? It had to be the prosecution. Right? Like who else would benefit? The prosecution.
Well,
That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't! This can't be happening! Ryonosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. Oh, maybe it's not the prosecution then. Then who the heck? Oh wow, is there more people involved in this than, what we already have available? I guess that makes sense, but it's like, as the first case, we don't have that much information. However, aside from the waiter, did the waiter do it? Is that why he was acting so shady? I don't believe Alchi had, anyway, I don't believe Alchi had any idea about it. Oh, so he doesn't know. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Wow, we're already dealing with like Miles Edgeworth investigations, one ending case at this point. The government, the military, I mean, it makes sense because of the fact that the military are pretty much the only witnesses here. This is a pretty confined case in general. Like only a select few people even are supposed to know about it. And that's why they picked somebody that no one would miss, a literal college student. They're like, yeah, we're gonna brush this all on you. Wow, was this all staged from like a lot of different people? Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? All I have right now is the waiter. Like the waiter was probably not a waiter. Is all I'm getting at, cause he was acting weird. If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we could continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. It had to be the waiter. He's the only other person. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly? Remember how we made progress before? Before we examine this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result, we have to examine the business card. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there is nothing we've missed. There is no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait. Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shut off the first name that comes to my head. That's always a good idea. Just wing it. I'm just going to close my eyes and shut off what comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... I'm going to gun it.
Yes!
I don't have anywhere else to go. Or surely this would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Poppycock!
Hold up. Can I examine that card now? Because I didn't do that. This one, right? I can examine it. Let me see. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police. He's a police officer. Chief Inspector, no less. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh. Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? It makes sense. I don't know a single waitress that has business cards to like pass out to the good people. So it made sense if I really thought about it. Like a waiter wouldn't have a business card. I didn't think that thoroughly about it though. I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If their witness somehow here, the waiter's business card information has been updated in the court record. Okay, I had to update it. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. On the front is slated that Hosonaga-san is a police inspector. Okay. So we do have information. Wow, jeez. I'm glad I investigated that. Poppycock! Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need that at some point before we get to the end of where we were going with this logic line right now.
What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I would agree with you.
For once. Kazuma.
Oh my gosh. He's good with the barbs. Like, he's really good. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were.
Come on, Ryonosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity as proven by this evidence.
Yes!
I love that he says yes. Beautiful. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree. It shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. The back of the back. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. It's the front. That is hilarious. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that surely. Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
They don't... You're just a pawn in this whole thing too, apparently. Wow. Why does the... Wow. I honestly don't know where this is going. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it, in fact, the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well, I must say it is pretty convenient that he drew a picture of the layout of the restaurant on the back of his business card. Like, you know, I get it, but then it's like, was it really that relevant? Aside from giving us the business card. He literally stubbed his own toe, basically. It's probably him coming back. Surprise, surprise. Hosonaga-san. Inspector Hosonaga. Is that blood fake too? Was the whole thing just a sham, a charade? I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Well, yeah, that's another thing. He didn't think that it was going to be submitted as evidence for some reason, like some police detective, right? The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. Okay, at least they acknowledged that it was pretty much the route to his undoing.
So, you mean to say, you really are a detective?
Wow, he really didn't know. I mean, I get that they were saying it already, but it's like, it blows my socks off that he really, really didn't know. But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Okay, I get it now. I was like, that doesn't feel right. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. Wait, what did... But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Your salary... Oh, of course, your salary must be terrible. That's funny. I'm glad I reread that. Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. I mean, you lied to us already. What's to say that you're not lying about that too, you know? Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at that table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? You can't cough your way out of this one, Hosonaga. No siree, Bob. Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Wow, the plot thickens. Like a bad soup. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. I guarantee the lady is definitely the killer then. Cause I know for sure it cannot be Ryonosuke. It can't be Ryonosuke. I know that for sure at the bottom of my heart. So therefore, out of everyone here, it's either Hosonaga, the police detective who was trying to cover up, or it was actually the lady at the table. I'm going to have to wager it was the lady at the table. We have not seen her. She's been an elusive character from the start. So it falls in line that it is most likely her. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? Oh wow, so someone above him is pulling strings. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. This game is already leaning towards conspiracy. Wow. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. Who is she? Is it the Queen of England or something? The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our soil. Or an Englishman has been murdered on our soil, not the woman. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. Okay, so in order to keep the treaty, in order to keep ties together, even if she was, I guess that it leads towards the credibility of her actually being the killer at this point. She saw the opportunity. She has a perfectly good alibi for it, because if she knew this was all going down, which I'm pretty sure she did, she probably knew that she could probably get away with murder scot-free at that point. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. I'm up for murder. I didn't murder anyone. I've been telling you guys this from the start. Wow. My life truly does not matter in the face of diplomacy, I guess. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, okay, so it wasn't nobody like, you know, super like top tier hierarchy. It's just that this person also went to school with the rest of us. Jeez, it seems like Asogi knows a lot of people. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. She is I wonder if that's her real name in the Japanese version too. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yumi University's medical faculty. I always wanted to say facility. What is happening here? Arr! I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. True. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection! But, Your Excellency, That would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Consul. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom.
I hate to say that he's a better judge than Judge, but I mean, Judge kind of says something similar. It's just that he's also easily influenced too by the people around him. Like seriously, just very swayed. Also, he's been swayed by witnesses too. It's just nice to see a judge where it just seems like he's actually taking everything in stride. He's paying attention to everything that's happening in the courtroom. He's listening to everything. He's not just like, he's actually fair is the word for it. He's just a very fair judge. He listens to both sides equally. He thinks about it and he's like, okay, this is the way it's going to be because this is going to lead to a fairer trial. I appreciate that.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given for the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem?
So is that cough real? You gonna be okay, sir?
Nothing will get in my way.
I hope you're gonna be alright. It's not good to be spilling blood like that from your throat. Like at all. Sorry, I keep skipping it.
Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening.
To be continued. Oh my goodness. So now we're going to see Giselle Brett. I'm going to save my current progress. I'm going to put it here because just to make sure that the sound quality is good. I've been like making multiple saves and stuff. I've had to re-record. All that good stuff. 22nd November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants, Antechamber 5.
Excellent work, Ryonosuke. That was superb.
My heart was in my mouth the entire time.
It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there, you were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer.
Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again.
Oh, Ryonosuke, you have 9 other cases to go after this one. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain. Is she?
That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along.
Yes, you have, haven't you?
I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Powers of observation. I know Apollo had something like that, but I don't think Phoenix did.
Yes, I can see that. So about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that?
No, I didn't see any of it. Why did you pick up the weapon? We wouldn't be in this mess. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor.
just after I bit down and picked it up. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikatoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. Even if it costs me my future. I mean, sure, yeah, Asogi is like next to me throughout all this, but still, I don't like it. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. Don't pull a Naruto. Please, don't pull a Naruto. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. I like the fact that the friendship is pure, man. The friendship is like super pure. I love it. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? The fact that the way Asogi turned his head from looking at me to looking at Mikatoba more is just... Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at Yume, and it was I who invited him. Oh. I was actually saying oh from the heart, but I see Ryonosuke and me were on the same level. I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. The judge actually seems pretty fair, though. But let's not forget who we're up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. True. True. Very true. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama.
Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside of the courtroom at once! It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. This friendship is beautiful, man. It's really beautiful. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria or on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Of course.
It wouldn't be good if it wasn't at least that much. Well, with that said, we're going to wind up in right here. 12:09 p.m. So here we go. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, I really do hope that the sound quality is good. Of course, I'm going to wind up rewatching it and seeing, like, if I'm going to have to wind up retaping this one as well. I don't know what happened between the first episode and now, but hopefully this is all good and it will go up the way it should. Me just, narrating it and just being shocked and surprised by everything and not just... But yes, anyways, thanks so much for putting up with me and my crazy up and down channel. I really do appreciate any support and all the support and everything that you guys have been providing to me. It's just been a great ride and a great run. And with that said, I do hope you all have a great day. It's been nice. The weather has been nice for a lot of us. No, it can't really be fully said for a lot of other people. But for those of you who do share in that good weather, I do hope it continues to be nice for all of you. And until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Thanks so much. Mwah. Bye.